This is the Stockwell Eldridge Show, giving you the real-time information you need to make educated decisions about buying and selling in the world-renowned Twin Cities. Now your hosts and real estate experts, Jason Stockwell and Don Eldridge.
Good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
And I'm Don Eldridge with Remax Results.
And we've got another great show for you today. Thanks for listening or watching. If you're watching us on YouTube or listening to a podcast, we appreciate it. We're on every Sunday, 10 a.m. here on AM 1280 The Patriot. And today we have with us Nikki Knuckles with Wells Fargo. Good morning,
Hello.
Nikki. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great.
Good. Thanks for being here today.
Better than I
Thank you.
deserve, as they say, or as Dave Ramsey says. And we have Julie Jepson here, who's with Stepping Stone Emergency Housing. So we're going to be getting into that topic, which is just before the show we were talking about things, and there's a lot of need, not that most people would know. Like, I'm like, what, really? So there's a lot of need that we have, and she's been gracious enough to be on the show and sharing what she does as a development director for Stepping Stone. So we'll get into that later. First off, we always start out with a market update, and this week, our market update, we're going to go over a number of statistics and numbers. So our goal is not to bore you with a bunch of numbers and data. However, we'll take that data and those numbers and give you our thoughts and predictions going forward for the rest of the year and then into next year. And also we'll have some good stories or some positive stories about what we're able to do and how we're able to help people buy homes that maybe gave up hope or lost a transaction, and we were able to save it through our resources and our ability to do that, which is pretty unique to our group and our team. So market update, Dawn, what's happening in the real estate market?
Well, we have seen a 5.6% change in new listings, an increase, which is great. And actually, I think the market has picked up again. We had a little bit of a dip, but I feel like it's coming back to where it should be. Just like last year, we had a little bit of a dip, and then about the middle of October, everything kind of started picking up again. Actually, another increase from this time last year, 5.7% in closed sales, and then also a nice increase in the median sale price, 3.6% up from this time last year, which is fantastic news for Minnesotans.
So all the statistics and all the numbers you see and hear about, and that's from the Minneapolis Area Association. You see it on the news, you read about statistics. They all show very positive numbers for sellers. So everybody's automatic belief would be, wow, it's still a seller's market, very strong seller's market. However, there's some interesting information that is not always, you're not seeing everything when you look at that data. I bet you'd be surprised to know that in the last 30 days, a third of all properties have had a price adjustment. Down. Reduced price.
Yeah, that does not.
So in the last month, a third of all properties have reduced price. And for every sale that occurs right now, there's still 3 properties that remain on the market. So there's definitely opportunities. So if you're a buyer, there's opportunities to buy and homes available. So there's not necessarily a shortage of supply, as we have heard before. In the spring, there probably was more so, not right now. And also, there's sellers are motivated. So you'll find sellers are actually reducing price because maybe they're starting out at too high of a price because they're thinking that it's such a seller's market. And our job is to give you the realistic information when we meet with you to sell your home, which may not be exactly what you're hoping for, and it may not be what other agents are telling you, but it'll be the realistic option. And also, when you buy, you also have an opportunity, because if they're reducing, then you have an opportunity because that shows motivation, that they really do want to sell.
Yep.
So those are a couple statistics that are contrary to what you're hearing all the time. And then other things we're talking about. And so if you're in the market, you're thinking, I'm going to buy or I'm going to build a new home. So I'm in the market for a home, but I'm going to buy or I'm going to build. What would you want to do, and what would be the pros and cons of each? And right now, the permits are showing very well for new construction in Minnesota. 2,795 permits were issued this year in August compared to 2,000 in August last year. So 790 more permits were issued this year. So everybody's anticipating next spring to be very, very strong in new construction and very, very strong in housing. If you're debating between a used home and a new home, some of the things that you want to consider, number one,
maintenance costs.
we have a house for sale in Minneapolis, great area, 1923 built house, 1923, great house, solid house. However, it's old, so it's electrical's old, insulation's old, all kinds of factors that you gotta consider when buying. That's why everybody's like, why are new houses so expensive? Well, there's a ton of money that goes into them, and they're gonna have no maintenance. When you build the home you want. I have a friend who's doing a renovation in Richfield, and he called me and said, "Hey, Jason, the bid is coming back at 100 and I think it was 170,000 or something like that. Do you think that after we purchase it for X price and put that much money into it, it would hold that value, or that would be what would be worth?" I said, "Probably not." But I said, "Hey, how long are you gonna be there?" And he's like, "Well, at least 10 years, maybe 15, maybe 20." And I said, "Well, then build it how you want it. Don't skimp now planning on resale, because in 10 years it should be worth that. Or 15 years, it should be worth that value, and you should get that back. But if you're going to be there a long time, build for what you want, as long as you can afford it and it's a manageable situation." Other thing to consider is when building, it takes time. There's a lot of times you get a better deal on a spec home that's been sitting already there, built for you or for someone, but not necessarily used custom for you. And that's where you can get a better buy many times, and it's available now. So you don't have to wait the 6 months and go through the headache of the building process, which can be extremely stressful.
Yes.
And straining on your time, your energy, your relationship, your money, you name it, because there's always stuff that comes up.
Well, and the other thing I think that helps, a lot of people don't utilize an agent on the buy side
For
when
new
they're buying new
construction?
construction,
Yeah.
and they should, because a knowledgeable agent can ask questions that you may not even think of, and also help guide you with what is a hot topic in houses now, maybe make suggestions that you haven't thought about when you're building.
Yep, that's very true. The options of buying an existing home, one thing to consider there, if you want more land or more of a yard or maybe a bigger lot or something like that, you might be able to get a better lot potentially, because a lot of times in new construction, what they're looking at when the builders do a development, they're looking at the bottom line. How many houses can we get into this particular area to maximize the number of houses, therefore minimizing the land on each house? So if you go to existing home, a lot of those are set. Like I was up in Blaine yesterday, 1.5 acres in town, house with 1.5 acres lot. You'd never see that. It's not feasibly possible for a builder to justify that. So that would be a benefit of doing an existing home. And then also quick, a lot of times sellers, when they're on the market, they can close very quickly. So they will, you'll be able to be in it right away, as opposed to waiting. Your insurance costs will probably be higher. We had Ben Nelson on the show a while ago and talking about a new construction, $900,000 home, $1,500 a year for that insurance policy. If that was an existing home with an old roof and everything like that, double to triple the cost for the insurance cost for annual insurance.
I did not
costs.
know that. Wow.
Yeah, it can be very, very, very high. And then know what you're buying. Reach out to us. Reach out to a local expert to find out what you are buying, because if you buy an older home, you are taking on that home's baggage, if you will, and issues. And some of those are not yet known. They could come up 2 years from now where something happens that has been an issue with that home, or maybe an issue coming on that home. Where new construction, you have a warranty for a long time, a builder's warranty of 1 year, 2 year, and 10 year on the new home construction.
So one thing about the lots that I wanted to add is, if you buy a lot, make sure that it is open to whoever you want to use to build on. Sometimes lots are locked in with a specific builder.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to be able to have that option. Unless you want to use that builder, then that's a different situation altogether.
And be careful of your builder. There's a lot of great builders out there, and there's also many not so great builders and contractors. And the the complaints just come in a lot on contractors and renovations and on building, and it's so difficult right now to find someone, either a builder or a contractor, that can actually do what they say they're going to do. It's just amazes me how that industry, and all I can attribute it to, which is great for us, is our low unemployment, and there's lots of jobs available, and they're just not able to manage what they have. And not to say there aren't some amazing ones, amazing builders out there, but man, there are some bad ones too.
Yeah, and I think an important question to ask any contractor when you're interviewing, I would interview 3. And I would also ask, how many projects are you working on right now? What do you have in the pipeline, so that you don't have all these delays in your own process? Because personally, I have clients that are using a contractor and they're delayed so far by at least 6 months.
Indefinitely delayed. It's been bad. So you want to also, and then ask for specific references, and also see other projects that they've done, and then look up to see if there's any complaints, either with Better Business or the Builders Association, if there's any lawsuits, if they're doing some investigation, some strong investigatory work on them prior, and also reach out to your agent or us to get some, because we know some good ones, and we also know the bad ones, some of the bad ones. So we're talking about housing, and that's for many of us, it's very fortunate. We're considering buying a home, or we have a home and we're selling a home. When we get back from break, we'll be talking about a little bit about how we have organizations set up here to help if you do not even have a place to live. We're not even a rental. We're talking about no place to live, homeless, and how those people can be helped, and that there is a problem of that. Even though we have great things going in the Twin Cities right now, there's still an issue and problems that need to be resolved with that. So we'll be back with Julie Jepson and Nikki Knuckles, diving into that and how we can help and what they do, and we're very excited about that. So this is the Stockwell Eldridge Show, and that's my rant. It's the most I'll be talking for the next hour. So
good job.
You can check us out on Facebook under Stockwell Eldridge, or go to YouTube and see what we're all wearing. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
Bring your sweet lovin', bring it on home to me. Oh, that's where you ought to be.